Okay, so the next thing we'll do here is the ride under bar down at the bottom here. So let's jump maybe into the front view again, and we'll see if we can see that. Let's maybe grab this back piece. We'll do Control I and hide those other beams there, just to make it a little bit easier for us to see. Okay, so all this stuff here is really simple. Let's start with this vertical bar, which we'll just make out of another box. Okay, so we'll draw that out over top just like that. Let's give it a little bit of thickness, and we'll move that to the front here in the left view, and we'll just figure out how thick it actually needs to be. Okay, so this lined up with the outside of that other beam there, and we don't want it to be too thick. Let's do maybe like 6 on the height. We'll also throw that blue shader on there. Okay, and I'm just going to hide those blueprints. I know it's losing some frames here on the capture with them in the viewport, so we'll just pretty much chamfer down the edges on this piece. Let's just make sure it's sitting against the beam there. Okay, so convert it to editable poly. And we'll just grab the vertical edges here and chamfer them down. Alright, we'll take it down a little bit more. Let's do about 0.7 on those ones. And okay. And let's go into polygon here, grab all the polys, hold down Alt, deselect the vertical one so we have the top and bottom selected, and we'll just control click edge here so we have edge selection around the top and bottom. And we can just chamfer these ones down as well. And we'll dial that back just a little bit more. And maybe about 0.55 or so, and okay. And that's pretty much it for that bar. It's really simple. Alright, so we'll just grab these two pieces, unhide all. Okay, and we can also get rid of the cab again. Actually, let's just do Control I, and we'll hide everything. Okay, so the next piece we'll work on is this little bracket that holds that bar on. Alright, and we'll start this maybe out of a plane. Alright, so I'm just going to start here on the left side, and we'll draw that out like that. Let's get rid of those segments. Convert it to editable poly. Put the blue shader on there. And we'll just move that to the back in the left view again. Alright, so just bring it out so it's just sitting against that bigger beam. Like that. Okay, and let's go into edge. Grab the right edge there. We'll hold down shift and we'll just extrude it over. Okay, and then we'll jump into the top view. And we'll zoom in a bit here. And we'll just shift drag it back on the Y. Okay, and shift drag it one more time on the X over to about the center of this little box here. And then we'll just go into vertex and just adjust this a bit. Alright, so I'm just going to grab these two verts here, we'll move them over. And we just want to kind of fit it around the box with an even gap. Okay, so kind of just following around the profile. We also want to make sure we taper this corner up, so I'm just going to grab this vert here and angle it. And that should be pretty good right there. So let's maybe put a shell on this one. Okay, and we'll take up the amount a little bit more. And let's also be sure to go down and check off straighten corner here, just to fix these corners. Alright, so for the thickness here, let's do maybe 2.5, and we'll collapse it to editable poly. Okay, and we'll just chamfer the edges down this one as well. Let's delete this inner polygon here, and we can actually delete the back polygons as well. We don't really need those in there. Okay, so just grab the 4 back polygons and delete them. And let's go back to edge, and we'll just chamfer down the outside top edge here. Get that little corner one as well. And we'll do the same thing here. Okay, so just follow those edges. Give a slight chamfer. Maybe about 0.5 or so, and okay. And then we'll just grab this one here, do a loop on it, and give that a chamfer as well. do about 0.35 or so on that one. Okay, and we could also do these two here, so let's grab both these edges, do a loop on them, and let's chamfer that down a little bit more, just to roll it out a little bit more smooth. Let's do about 0.55 or so, and okay. Alright, and then we'll go back into the front view here. Just going to go into the hierarchy panel, we'll center the pivot point, and let's just actually drag this over to the outside right edge, and we'll line up the y-axis there on it. Okay, just like that. And now we can just actually chuck a symmetry on here. We'll flip the axis on the X, and we'll just go to the top view and even out the gap here on both sides. Okay, so let's drop this down to mirror. Okay, we'll just move this back until we have an even gap. Right about there, looks good. Okay, so now we can convert this to editable poly, and we can actually get rid of this center edge. We don't really need that in there, so we'll just control backspace that out. Okay, so pretty simple stuff. Okay, so let's grab maybe this vertical bar as well as that bracket. Let's do a group on them. And we'll just flip this over to the other side, so center the pivot point and zero out the x-axis. Turn off the button there and do another mirror on the X as a copy. Okay, and let's also take care of this bar at the bottom. For this one, we use another box. All right, so let's drag it out side to side here. Give it a little bit of thickness and zero out the x-axis so we know it's centered. And we'll just move it into position here in the left view. Okay, let's convert it to editable poly. And we'll just make it a little bit thinner. Apply our blue sugar. And for this one, we'll maybe turbo smooth it, but let's give the corners a little bit more of a detail here rather than just doing it even. Let's go into edge and let's grab this corner as well as the far corner. Okay, and let's maybe just triple chamfer this over. Alright, so I'm going to take up the chamfer amount of these two edges quite a bit. Let's do like 10 maybe. And we'll hit apply and we'll bring the second one down. And we'll just try to evenly space these edges out. Let's do about 3.7 or so. And let's give it another one as well. Okay, so just get those even, and okay. And that'll just round out the corners for us. Alright, I'm just going to turn off edge here. I'm going to hit Alt-Q to go into isolation mode. And we'll just give this some support. Alright, so let's maybe grab the top and bottom polygons. And to get a support edge around the top, I'm just going to inset these. Take it up a little bit more. Let's do about 1.5 or so. Okay, and just to avoid any problems, I'm actually going to change the topology a little bit here on the corners. Let's go into the top view, and we could probably actually just do half of this at a time. Let's go back to edge and select all the middle edges and connect them up with one segment, no pinch, no slide. And we'll just delete off the right side here. Okay, so just work on half at a time. Okay, so we'll zoom in here on the back corner, and let's maybe go over to cut. And I'm just going to cut this edge over to the side here, starting on this vert. Alright, so let's bring it over like that, and let's cut it this way as well. Okay, and let's go over to our view here, and we'll switch it to bottom, and we'll do the exact same thing here. Let's cut these over to the outside, and down to this edge. Okay, and now we'll go into edge and just take these out. Okay, so we'll grab that one on the top and control backspace it, and same thing on the bottom. Control backspace that out, and then we just need to connect these up. Alright, so back to vertex, grab that top one and the matching bottom one and hit connect, and same thing here again on the back. Connect those up. Alright, so that'll be a little bit better for smoothing than what we had. And we'll also add a couple edges here across the sides. Alright, so we'll ring this corner one, another connect, 2 segments this time, and just pinch those apart. Okay, I don't want this to be super sharp, so let's do maybe like 92 or so, and okay. And I don't think we really need to worry about quadding it up here on the top. Let's just maybe see how it looks first. Alright, so let's maybe put another symmetry on this, and we'll flip it on the x-axis and convert to double poly. And let's get rid of this middle segment here, so I'm just going to loop that edge and control backspace it out. And we'll add a couple of additional ones in the center again. Alright, so grab all the middle edges and connect it up with 4 segments with no pinch, no slide. Okay, now we'll smooth it and see if it looks okay. Alright, so we'll do 2 iterations and isoline. And I think that should be fine. Okay, so let's exit isolation mode. Let's maybe grab all these pieces and unhide all again. Let's just maybe grab the cab here, we'll hide that. Okay, so we need a couple of these small supports on the bottom here going down to this beam. So let's just maybe grab this, we'll ungroup it, and just grab one of these pieces and shift drag it down on the Z as a copy. And we'll go into the left view here and we'll just give this a rotation. Alright, so make sure you have your angle snaps on again and just rotate it 90 degrees like that. And we'll just push it over here and line it up. Okay. And in the top view here, we'll just move this over so it's sitting on the bottom of the main beams. Okay, so let's drag it over. Okay, we'll just line it up, maybe centered on these 2 edges here. And we'll shift drag another copy and line this one up the same way. Okay, like that. And let's grab both these pieces and shift drag them over on the X to the other side as a copy, and we'll just line that up in the top view quickly. Alright, so just kind of eyeball those in position. And I think that'll pretty much take care of the framing. Okay, so just a few more pieces that make up this back. Let's grab this piece, do Control I again, and hide select it. Alright, and we have the taillights here and they're really simple, so let's maybe chuck those in quick. We'll zoom in on one of them here. And let's maybe start this out of a cylinder. Alright, so I'm going to draw that out in the center. Kind of match the size that we have in the blueprint. And we'll give a little bit of thickness there and just line it up. Okay, and for the sides, let's take off the height segments. We don't really need to have any cap segments on this. Let's take up the sides to say 40 maybe, just so it's a little bit more smooth. And we'll convert it to double poly. Okay, we'll move it forward in the left view here. Just drag that forward. And we'll set it right on the back. And let's go to vertex here. We'll just make it a little bit thicker. Okay, and back to left view, let's put our shader on it. And we'll just go to polygon. And we could actually get rid of the back polygon. So I'm just going to grab all the polys here. And we'll hold down Alt and deselect the front and side poly so we have the back one selected, and just delete that out. Alright, and back in the front view, we'll just grab that front poly and inset it. Now let's take this up quite a bit here. Let's do maybe like 6, and okay. And we'll just punch this right in. Okay, so just extrude that in. Around -5 or so should be good. And okay, and we'll delete that out. And let's maybe give the frame a little bit more detail here. I'm just going to grab one of these front edges and do a ring and a connect. And let's do maybe 2 with no pinch, no slide, and okay. And we'll just pull these out to kind of round over the front a little bit. So I'm just going to do that in left view. Let's move them out in the X. And that should be fine right there, just so it's a little bit more rounded. And for the actual light, we'll just maybe throw a sphere in here. Alright, so we'll go into Create Panel, grab a sphere, and draw that out in the center. And we'll try to match the size. Okay, maybe something like that. Let's also move it forward here in the left view. Okay, we'll line it up maybe something like that. And let's also actually align it to the outside here, just so we know it's centered. Okay, so with the sphere selected, I'm just going to go up to the line tool and click on the outside piece. Do all three axes, and we'll just do center and center, and OK. And we'll just move it back a little bit here in the left view, and convert it to editable poly. And then we'll just go into vertex and delete the entire back of it. Okay, just like that. Let's put the blue on there as well. And we'll just go up to scale, and we'll just scale it on the X. Okay, to squash it down. Maybe something like that. And we can move it out slightly here. Maybe a little bit more roundness. Okay, so pretty simple. And let's just maybe throw a turbo smooth on here. And I think we can easily get away with one iteration on this one. And let's also do it to the outside, just for the sake. And one looks pretty good there too. So really simple for these lights. Okay, so let's grab the lens as well as the outside piece. Jump back to the front view. And we'll just shift drag this over to the next one and choose copy. And then we'll select all four pieces here and just shift drag it over to the other side. Okay, let's line those up quickly. And that pretty much takes care of those taillights. And we have another piece down here that we're going to need to make. So let's do that next. Alright, so let's zoom in on this piece. And this is also quite simple to model, so we'll start it with a cylinder. Okay, let's do maybe something like that. Give it a little bit of thickness. And we'll just move this over and kind of line up with what's on the blueprints. Okay. And let's give it maybe one cap segment here. Okay, we'll leave it at 40 sides. You could take it down a little bit if you want. Just going to move this forward a bit for now. And we'll convert it to editable poly. And the first thing we'll do is delete half of it again. Okay, so let's delete those out. We also really don't need to have all these edges here, so let's go back to edge, and we'll just drag through all the center edges here. Okay, hit remove, and go back to vertex, and there'll be a couple of verts here on the line. So just grab those 6 and remove them as well. Okay, now we can just go to border and grab the open border here on the end. Okay. And we'll just shift drag that on the X over to about there. Okay, and let's maybe just give the edges a chamfer. So let's go into polygon, and we'll grab the 2 front ones and the 2 back ones. Control click edge, and we don't really need to have these back edges selected because it's open, so we'll deselect those 2. As well as these 2 middle ones here. Okay, so we just pretty much have the outline selected. And we'll just give that a bit of a chamfer. Let's do maybe like 0.6 or so, and we'll hit apply, and we'll do a second one on it. About 0.2 on the second one should be good. Okay, and let's maybe unhide all. And we just want to line this up with the side of this little vertical bar we have here. So I'm just going to move this over on the Y. Okay, I should do this in the left view probably. Okay, so we'll just line it up pretty much right in the center. And we'll just copy one of our lights down. Let me just hide this cab first so it's not so laggy. Okay, so in the back view here, I'm just going to grab one of the lights as well as the outside piece, and we'll just shift drag it copy down, and we'll just have to resize it here. Okay, so let's turn our material to transparent, and we'll scale this down all at once, and just line it up with one of the blueprints. Okay, we'll just check to make sure that it's actually sitting against the surface here. So let's pull it out a little bit until it just slightly intersects. Okay, and then we can grab the outside piece as well, and we'll just group this and mirror it as a copy on the X, and we'll just pull this over and line it up. Okay, so just slightly intersecting that bar. Okay, and I think we only have one more piece here at the back, and that's just a little piece that fills in this section here. Okay, so back into the front view, let's grab maybe another box here, and we'll just draw it out over this piece here. Okay, so from the top of that lower bar all the way up to that main beam, and just bring it over. And we'll just give this a little bit of thickness. We want it to be pretty thin. Okay, so check that blue shader on there, and we'll just move it to the position in the left view. Alright, so let's pull that down. And we want this to be a little bit back from the lights here, so we'll leave it maybe about there. Let's take the thickness down a little bit more. And we'll see how that looks. Okay, so just sitting on top of this piece and pushed up into this main beam. Okay, I think that's about right for thickness, so let's convert it to editable poly. And let's go into polygon, maybe we'll do Control A to select all the polys, and then hold down Alt and just deselect the side ones so we have the top and bottom selected, and we can delete those out. And we'll just get these four vertical edges of chamfer. Alright, we can tighten this up quite a bit. Maybe about 0.5 or so, and that should be good. Okay, so the back's really simple here, and I think that'll pretty much take care of the frame. We still have the mud flaps as well as the tires and rims, and of course the actual top piece here with the doors, which are actually pretty detailed, so that's going to take a little bit of time. But I think that'll finish off this piece. Let's just see how it looks with the cabin here. Okay, and I'm just going to hide these damn blueprints for a second. Okay, so we'll just pretty much leave these pushed up against the back of that box as well as the back of the cab. And we can maybe move this guy out a little bit more. Alright, just so it's not pushed in there. Okay, and I don't believe we missed anything. I think that's all the pieces we need. Okay, so in the next part we'll start working on the top piece here, the actual bed of the truck.